everybody. This is, or how do I do it? I'm Kristen.
And I'm Rachel.
There we go. And this is So I'm Watching Gilmore Girls, Season 2, Episode 18, Back in the Saddle Again. I don't know what I was gonna say. I was like, this is Kristen? No. That's bad. I don't know. This is why we don't record on Tuesdays, apparently.
Did you mentally step out of the room like
a
how
little,
I'll do?
A little, yeah. Mm-hmm. This episode basically is Richard is at kind of a loose ends, and he still doesn't really know what to do. He is fixing up a car, but Rory needs a business advisor for a school project, and Lorelai convinces her to ask Richard. And so he comes in and helps, and it goes good and then very bad. And then we end on an upswing. Yeah. Thoughts?
I was very uncomfortable by his outburst.
Yeah.
But his decision to go into teaching or consulting makes absolute sense.
Okay. So this is where we're gonna get that boyfriend of Lorelai's that I like.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So mid till actually I don't know when his first episode is, but it's season 3 into 4. So it's for a little while.
Okay.
Yeah. It's fun.
Okay.
I like it. That is basically the main gist of this episode. It's actually really a good idea too. So basically they're it's an economics class, and each group has to come up with something to a business to make, and then something to produce for that business. And then there's a competition at the end to see whose business is the best idea. I agree with Richard that their idea is better than a locker alarm.
Yeah.
Because what are you going to know? No teacher's going to let you out because you hear your locker alarm going.
No.
Also, how would you know it's yours?
Right.
The locker first aid kit is a really good idea.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Personalized locker first aid kit, excellent idea. Brad is also back.
Mm-hmm.
It is very funny.
Yeah, it is.
He keeps continuing back. I actually feel like he does pop up once when they're in college. I might be making that up, but I feel like he does pop up once more after they've graduated high school. Anyway, he has come back to Chilton at the advice of his rabbi, who then Paris is like, give me that rabbi's name. I don't believe that was a good idea. Very funny. She keeps bullying him. I mean, because it's Paris, I'm just like, is it bullying? It's definitely bullying.
Yeah, it is.
But it's funny.
He's so harmless. She can bully Madeline and Louise because they can give it back to her.
Yeah.
And he'll just cry.
He does.
Poor guy. I've never understood the whole concept of bullying people young, who can't
fight back.
Yeah.
Punching down.
Yeah. Because it's so then what do you get out of it? Yeah. And find someone who's gonna fight you back.
So not necessarily in Paris's case. She has a lot of weird home stuff, obviously, that is a problem for her. But in the case of most traditional bullies, it's because they already feel less than.
Yeah.
And so making somebody less than them feel even more less than makes them feel like a big man.
Mm-hmm.
But it's you're right, where it's Paris, what are you, you have basically every advantage over him.
Yeah.
What are you?
I like to bully men. Bullying men is fun.
Yeah.
It's very, very fun.
Satisfying too, when they don't have a comeback. Yeah. It's the best part.
And it's, my favorite is doing the whole put my dick on your face thing. Because you watch the light leave their eyes when you do it. It's very funny.
So good.
So funny.
Oh boy. So actually the C plot, I totally forgot, is that Michelle's mother, Giselle, is in town.
OG and Viv,
that's right. She is a ray of French Canadian sunshine. She loves Michelle and he loves her, and they are having a bang up time. It's so great. Until Lorelai expresses surprise that Giselle got Michelle to eat pasta. And then the next day he confronts Lorelai and he's like, how dare you? How very dare you? I keep these things secret from her on purpose. Now she's my mother, and she wasn't like that before. And this is absolutely crazy. I can't believe you did that. And she's just kind of bamboozled by it. It's super good. I love it when Michelle gets very French snooty angry.
Mm-hmm.
It's entertaining. And then I guess there is kind of a D plot, which is that Suki's wedding invitations arrived and they say Susie St. James, and she's being very mean to the invitation people on the phone.
Weddings make people crazy.
No, they do, but I love that Lorelai was like, okay, it's more helpful if you stay calm and try to just, like, get through it, like, reasonably or whatever. And she's like, okay, fine. She gets on the phone. She's like, you're ruining my life. How dare you?
Yeah, and then she flat out says, I hate you.
Oh, boy. Lots of outsized reactions in this episode that I love. Okay, so intertwined with this school project is the fact that Dean is being a stage 5 clinger.
Like stage 7.
He's being such a clinger. And it is, so he is insecure about Jess. That's very clear, especially at the very end when he's like, she likes Jess, doesn't she? However, what about talking to your girlfriend?
Yeah. And listening to what she has to say and taking it on board.
Uh-huh. Yeah, for sure. Also, what about not talking to your girlfriend's mom?
It weirds me out so much. It's so weird and gross.
The amount of times anybody I was ever dating talked to my parents, so slim. So few times.
I think Ryan was the only one that, well, no, that guy Mike that I dated, but that was just because he was like stationed by my parents' bar. So he was like friends with like the extra son that they adopted.
So I had one serious college boy. I had one boyfriend in high school and two boyfriends in high school. They met my parents.
Mm-hmm.
And then I had one serious boyfriend in college and he came to stay with us for like a long weekend.
Mm-hmm. Other
than that, it's my husband. And he hasn't spoken to my dad in the same amount of time that I haven't, in more time than I haven't spoken to my dad.
Mm-hmm.
So like, I don't get it. And he's married to me. What the fuck is this?
I don't know. It's really overstepping. It's the enmeshment. It's this.
Okay, but I consider this worse behavior on Dean's part.
No, it is.
Yeah.
It's bad on all parts, but it's worse on Dean's.
Yeah. Okay. I fully agree with you that Lorelai should not be involving herself in this. However, I do have to give her props for giving actually good, actionable advice.
Yeah.
Like, you have to give Rory a chance to miss you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, 14 messages in, like, a 4-hour span.
The way that my dad would have ripped him a new one after the third phone call.
Unbelievable.
He would be like, you look like a fucking stalker. You piece of shit. Don't ever call my house ever again, or I will find out where you live and I will rip out your throat.
Yeah, 100%.
And that won't be good for you. Like, it's the level of threats.
It's so weird.
It's so
gross, weird.
It's strange.
And again, to that point too, I've never had a boy try to contact me that incessantly.
I don't think I have. I don't know.
It doesn't.
I mean, unless like we were in a fight and I was just being like, I'm not going to talk to you.
Sure.
And then they went insane.
But no, I haven't had that either. No. I just think it's absolutely nuts to call that many times. And then he's just there washing the car.
Yeah, that's weird.
And also, the thing for me is, like, so, Lorelai, in my opinion, again, yes, the enmeshment, but she gives him good, not unreasonable, and actionable advice, which is, give her some time to breathe, let her have a chance to miss you, and then I'm sure it'll be fine. So after they get done with this dinner, or Friday night dinner, she's like, oh, Dean paged me, but, like, I'll call him back tomorrow, because I already have plans with Lane tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Totally reasonable.
Yeah.
Totally reasonable. And Lorelai tries to be like, well, why don't you call him tonight? And she's like, tomorrow will be fine. There's like a finite amount of time that I can hang out with Lane. That's the other thing too. When you have a relationship like that, like, okay, you've got a boyfriend who has like basically unlimited free time outside of school. And then you have a best friend who has very limited free time and a crazy mom, and you only have finite time to spend with her. Mm-hmm. She trumps your boyfriend.
Absolutely.
Except for special occasions.
Yeah. Also, it's Rory's time. She can do whatever she wants with however much time that she has.
Yeah.
He does not monopolize her time because
100%.
He's the boyfriend.
Yeah.
No.
And there's the scene where they like run into him in the street and he's like, why don't you come see my baseball game? And she's like,
softball.
Softball.
Because he's a pussy.
Well, it's Luke plays in that league too.
Well, he's an adult man. The rotator cuffs, I'm sure, a little touch and go these days.
Rusty.
Yeah,
a little rusty in the rotator
This high school boy should be playing baseball.
Well, okay, it is also, it's not a school team, it's like an intramural team, so it's like, I'm just saying.
Pussy.
Okay, I mean, I'm not disagreeing on the pussy,
Dude is a pussy!
I'm saying maybe not just because he plays softball.
He's a pussy because he plays softball.
Not because! That's an addition. That's like an additional mark in the pussy column. That's not the whole reason.
No. That is very low.
Very low on the pussy totem
yeah.
pole. No, so basically he's trying to convince her to do her homework at the softball game, and she just with that moment where she has to take a deep breath and try to logic him out of it, and he just walks away like droopy dog. It's unbelievable.
Well, and when the whole thing started, when she was like, I don't know, things have just been so calm lately. There haven't been any incidents. That's not good. Girly pop, I have been there. Mm-hmm. Oh, it's awful. It's awful because you're just waiting for it.
Yeah.
Because it's like you can't even enjoy the calm period because it's like, it's going to happen.
Something's going to happen.
It's going to happen because it always happens.
Yeah.
And so what am I going to do to minimize it? It's awful.
So stressful.
It's not a healthy relationship.
It's not. It's straight up not.
It's terrible.
Yeah. And so basically, when he pages her and she's like, no, I'm hanging out with Lane tonight. I'll call him tomorrow. Lorelai drops her off, and then Lorelai gets home, and Dean is just sitting on the steps, waiting.
Knowing that she has an evening. This is a standing date that she has with her grandparents.
And they did not confirm plans.
No.
So he was just gonna, again, this is where I go crazy, because again, Lorelai gave him good, actionable advice, and then he didn't even do it. All he did was not try to contact her during school for one day?
Yeah.
Unacceptable.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's when he's like, she likes Dean, doesn't she? Or she likes Jess, doesn't she? And Lorelai is just like...
doesn't say anything.
Yeah, and then he just droopy dogs away again.
And so, and like you said, where's the evidence? Says who?
Also, yes, she does like Jess.
But she doesn't even really know that yet.
Well, she knows she likes him as a person.
Right.
So, that is out there. She wants to be friends with Jess. She recognized Jess's handwriting.
Yeah.
On the new menu at the beginning, which, let's talk about that for a minute. That he, drew that and made that. Pretty good. And she recognized his writing because they trade books back and forth, and he writes notes in the margin.
Right. He wants to have discourse with her because they have interests in common. I'm so angry.
No, he's awful.
Because it's just the projection.
Yeah.
And it's I know where it's going, but you all are projecting. And it's just let her come to it on her own fucking terms.
Yeah.
And everyone talking about it around her instead of with her drives me nuts.
Yeah, I agree.
Ugh.
Yeah.
I hate it. Yeah. And I can't believe they're going to date for so much longer. Trash.
Let's see. I mean, the rest of the season, so 4 more episodes. And then...
You know what's gross? I feel like had I watched this live, because I was still very much in my weird emotional state and didn't know any better and internalized misogyny and shit, I probably would have felt oh, but Dean's really trying. He's showing up for her. He's putting in all this effort. 15-year-old Rachel.
Mm-mm. No.
It's not good.
I would
not good.
So these episodes are airing in 2002. Mm-hmm. So if that's helpful at all. By the way, they are together for 11 more episodes.
Ugh.
Yeah. So the last 4 and then 7 more of season 3.
Disgusting.
Yeah. So 2002. So I was how old? 17? Not quite 16. I was already in my not angel phase. That's what, because Buffy is the show I've watched the most. That's where my standard is. So it's whoever the first boyfriend is, that's not the boyfriend I want. I always want the second boyfriend. Always.
I'm coming to learn that about myself as well. Since I've done all the healing and figured out my shit, but I didn't know any better.
Yeah.
So
it's just and then there's shows like Riverdale where it's I actually shockingly loved Betty and Jughead together, but it's because he is the second boyfriend. He's her first boyfriend, but he is second boyfriend coded.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
And so that actually put it kind of on its head for me, because once she did get with Archie, I was ooh, I was a little trad first boyfriend coming in hot, number 2. Love that for us. So I do love when things subvert it and turn it on its head, but Dean is just such a first boyfriend. He's such an angel. Yeah.
Disgusting.
It's not it for me.
No.
It's like Angel, Dawson, all of the first boyfriends.
Don't you say that name at me.
I'm sorry. Okay, so you want to take a big break after we're done with season 2, which we'll have time to because we're very ahead recording. But like, what if I take Dawson's back to Will and you and I just keep doing Gilmore Girls? You're liking it so much better.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, so they are together for quite a bit more, unfortunately. But yeah. Yeah, Dean really thinks he like is onto something, and it's just he's not really, like, he kind of is, but he's not, because you're right, she doesn't know that she likes Jess romantically yet.
Yeah.
She just knows she likes him and they have stuff in common. Mm-hmm. And Dean is being overbearing and clingy and suffocating.
And self-conscious or not self-conscious, that's not the word I want. Insecure.
Self-conscious is right, though. I'm sure that's part of it.
It's just like, at what point has Rory done anything to make you feel insecure in this?
Nothing.
Like, this isn't even like the anxious avoidant cycle that we all kind of fall into sometimes.
He also still never even found out about the kiss with Tristan.
Yeah.
So, like, it can't even be like, oh, well, you did it once before.
Right.
Kind of, which also, it still wasn't even cheating because he broke up with her.
Right.
So.
God, and every time they kiss, I can't look at it.
It's gross.
It's very upsetting to look at.
Yeah.
And watching people kiss is like whatever, but like, no, there are some people it makes me stim. I can't.
Okay, so we mostly talked about, like, there's not really any big stuff to the like school business thing. It is, like I said, the locker first aid kit. Richard gets super into it, like very excited. He and Paris are like this. Yeah. It's very funny. She keeps calling him Richard. It's super good. I don't like how dismissive he is of Emily when she comes in to like ask if the kids want more snacks. Mm-hmm. And he's like, we're in a business meeting. And it's like, no, you are advising for a school project. These are children. They might like ice cream.
Yeah.
Just saying. I do also like how kind of put out he is about the suggestions at first, like Madeline and Louise's. Mm-hmm. And he's in the background when Rory is like, we'd have to actually build a robot. And he's mouthing it along with her. Mm-hmm. And it's very funny. Super good performance from Edward Herrmann. And then, so the locker alarm wins and Richard absolutely loses his shit
in front of everybody.
On the headmaster in front of everybody. And again, it was another good thing where it was like Headmaster Charleston let him have it. He was like, you're the one who's making a scene. Mm-hmm. Loved it.
Yep.
So he goes back home and I guess locks himself in his study, and Emily is like beside herself when they come over for Friday night dinner. And she's like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what's going on. He comes out chipper as can be and has decided he wants to go into business for himself because he is not ready to be retired.
Which is great.
I love that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I feel a lot of people, especially in like our parents' generation, like
men
are not
specifically.
Yeah, because they don't have hobbies outside of work. And
they're not equipped.
Like, yeah. What do I do with my time?
Yeah,
it's crazy. But no, good for him.
Yeah, he's
too spry.
He's way too spry. He's like way too, and also just like mentally still there too much. And like, I mean, so they've been married for 35 years and Lorelai is like 33 by this point. I'm trying to like reverse engineer some ages. I feel like they've got to be mid 50s.
Probably.
Because I feel like they got married relatively young. So like maybe almost 60. Mm-hmm. Because I feel like they got married either while Emily was still in school or like right after she graduated and then waited a couple years to have kids. And then Lorelai is 32, 33 right now. I mean.
Yeah, he's got plenty of time.
Definitely not retirement age yet. Yeah. So I think.
Well, and especially like, work for fun. Like, I know that sounds like such an oxymoron, but like if you find something that you really enjoy and there are people that are very business minded. So it's like, go and do it.
Well, and he takes great pleasure out of work, out of doing his job. So it makes sense. And he wants to maybe consult or teach. I love when Lorelai is like, what? And he goes, well, you don't have to say it like that. I love the moments when you can tell that she comes by her personality, honestly.
Yeah.
And it happens more with Emily, but it happens a lot with Richard too. But yeah, I think it was good.
Me too.
I like it. The next episode is very heavy on the Jess content.
Yay.
Lots of Jess content, and then one with less Jess content, and then one with a lot of Jess content.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
And then the finale.
Sweet.
All right, that is it for us. Let us know what you think and like and subscribe, and we will see you next time. Bye.
Bye.